Your Excellency, Governor General, Sir S.W. Tackley Seaton, I crave your indulgence to adopt the protocol established for today, save except to recognize your distinguished presence and that of the Prime Minister, the Right, the Honorable, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. Perhaps I'm being prophetic. I welcome the opportunity to have a conversation with the youth of our nation. I am opening the conversation today, and I want you hereafter to carry it on among yourselves. Today we celebrate National Heroes Day. What makes a national hero? What is the common thread? The common thread is service with a capital S. Service to the people of our nation. And it is the people who make national heroes. Not one of the five of us would be national heroes without the support and opportunity for service given to us by the people. Speaking for myself, thank God I can do that. I would not be a national hero without the support of the people. Some of them, your mothers, your aunts, uncles, brothers and sisters, who gave me the opportunity to become Prime Minister and the privilege to lead our nation into independence. I thank the government and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for the signal honor given to me while I am yet alive. I thank God for life every moment of the day. Simply doing well in school, becoming a doctor, and helping people recover from illness would not be enough. Even though I worked and studied at one of the best hospitals in the United States, the Allegheny General Hospital, and became a member of the heart transplant team under the leadership of the renowned heart surgeon, Dr. George McGovern, that would not make it happen. However, doing well in school is an important first step in your journey to personal success. When you achieve that success, remember to build a better life for your parents and guardians who sacrifice much and deprive themselves so that you can make it. Learning in school, striving to be the best you can be, is the foundation on which you can build the rest of your life. Now I am going to give you, all of you, here and in TV and radio land, some advice. I know some people don't like to take advice, but I'll give it anyway, because it is personal. It is how I lived it. 1, every day, pay careful attention to the teacher in class and try to understand what you are being taught. If you do not understand, say so. 2, assuming that you're going straight home from school, when you get there, do not open a school book at that time. Go outside and play. Go jogging, practice football, cricket, basketball, netball, or tennis. You know I must mention tennis. This applies to boys and girls. Devote 1 to 1.5 hours to exercise. This is not book advice. This is how I lived every school day. You can do it too. The habit of exercise is essential for your health now and for the rest of your life. Later that evening, every day without fail, go over what you learned that day. It might be quick, easy, and straightforward, but if you have to, wrestle with it like a dog with a bone. And don't give up until you know and understand, that's the key word, what you were taught that day. 4, in addition, be sure to complete any homework assignment before you go to bed. I wonder if you noticed something. No time for Xbox or TV yet. That's the point. You have to get your priorities in order. I know you're going to tell me that things have changed from my time. That's true. We didn't have an Xbox or iPad or TV. Some of us didn't even have a radio. Yes, things have changed. You, the young people of today, face greater challenges and distractions than we ever faced. Our country appears to be responding in like manner to the epidemic of crime and violence which is plaguing the region and the world. Some people say that our young people are responding to peer pressure. I am calling on you, our young people, not to react or respond to a peer pressure that drags you into the morass of crime and violence, but to yourselves. You yourselves create peer pressure, a peer pressure that has respect for God and your peers, a peer pressure that works to ensure that our land of beauty, where peace abounds, returns to and remains in that beautiful and peaceful state. The good news is that it is happening slowly but surely. I felt privileged when I was introduced to some young students who had made a robot and earned recognition in an international competition for their work. Made a robot here in St. Kitts? That is the kind of peer pressure we need. Youth of our nation, you must delve deeply into the world of science and technology and finance and languages and trades and give full expression to your creative and innovative instincts. Some people like to spread the falsehood that if you're good at working with your hands, you don't need no load of book learning. For them, to be a mechanic, you just have to put on some dirty overalls and tamper. And you may eventually have a workplace, but one which becomes a graveyard for vehicles. The mechanic who has a sound basic education and learns the science of his or her craft and continue to update his or her knowledge is the one who will sell cars, repair cars successfully, sell parts, and employ others. The mason who is just satisfied to run blocks and use his trowel expertly may be employed by the one who learns to read plans, build a house, or even become an architect and design not just a house, but a whole community. In this day and age, any field you choose to enter will require you to have a good basic education and a desire to continue to learn more about your chosen field. To make it in this computerized and rapidly changing world, you must love to learn, for the need of knowledge never ends. The good thing about education is that it is a great equalizer. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, whether your parents have money or are poor, you have equal access to education. The poor man's child or the rich man's child can rise to the top of the class. Now a little about me. I was born and raised in Rosemary Lane, that street between West Independence Square Street and 4th Street. It was a dirt road, and we used to play cricket and football in the street. We never lacked for balls because we had a breadfruit tree. And we would use one about this big for cricket and one about this big for football. Not quite as big as the ones you use today. It would be too heavy. We played barefooted. Now, I used to sleep on the floor on lodgings for years until I graduated to sleep on the bed with my grandmother. Ask the teacher or some senior person in the village what lodgings are, because not many of you don't know. I wonder if any of you know what it is to be really hungry. Perhaps not with our school feeding program in place. In any case, I am not talking about I had breakfast and at lunchtime is approaching, I begin to feel a little hungry, kind of hungry. I mean, I have not had enough to eat for the whole day. And the piece of bread and bush tea I had tonight ain't even pick my teeth. That kind of hungry. I was between 6 and 7 years old. And I used to fear darkness and cockroach and spider. They were so big we used to call them donkey spider. Our house was up on nogs with a cellar underneath. There was a back stairs to the house with a little landing at the top. The kitchen was a shed outside. The pots and pans were hung on nails under the steps, and the coal pot was kept on the ground under the steps. The crocus bag of coals was in the kitchen, so it won't get wet. I was living with my aunt and grandmother. This particular night, I was hungry. But there would be no more bread in the house, because bread was the staple. No more bread in the house until Mrs. Hawley's shop opened in the morning. I was so hungry I started to cry. And I told my aunt, I'm hungry. She said to me, all I have in the house is some rice and butter. But I am not going back downstairs. So she went on, I will cook some rice with the butter for you, but you have to go downstairs and bring up the coal pot, the coals, and the pot. Well, I can tell you that hunger was greater than fear at that time. So I took the hurricane lamp and went down the steps. There was no switch to turn on or off. The roaches and the spiders started to run all over the place. But I had to make 2 trips. I had to leave the lamp down there and carry up the coal pot and the coals. Then go back for the lamp and the pot. From being poor, hungry, and afraid, I am here today before you, a national hero. A living national hero. The simple lesson is this. If from that background I can reach where I am today, so can you, and you, and you. The formula is simple. 2 words. Learn and serve. This country is yours. Mr. Prime Minister, sorry, not you, Mr. PM, not you. Madam Prime Minister, do I see a hand raised in acknowledgement? I think I do, yes, right over there at the back. And there may be hands raised in acknowledgement before the TV. 30 years from now, one of you will be Prime Minister of this federation. Look around at your teachers. That's where some of you will be. Some of you will be the engineers who will build that bridge between St. Kitts and Nevis, which I called for years ago before I became Prime Minister. Then later, while in office, we actually got the work started with the assistance of the late Sir Dwight Venner while he was governor of the Central Bank. The soundings across the channel and some of the drawings were done. With all this talk about bridge, a certain local writer wrote in a local newspaper, Simmonds is a crazy man. Yes, I was crazy for the Southeast Peninsula Road. I was crazy for Port Zante. Let me just set the record straight. Port Zante was not built on the initiative of the Matalons of Jamaica, as recently stated by a local luminary. I invited the Matalons to come to St. Kitts and to design and build a cruise ship facility in downtown Bastia so that our local vendors and small business persons would have easier access to the benefits of cruise tourism. The Matalons assisted greatly in securing the necessary finance and carried out very efficiently their mandate to design and build Port Zante. Yes, I was called crazy for the bridge, but it is a bridge that some of you will build. Our anthem calls for it. When it says, with God in all our struggles, St. Kitts and Nevis be a nation bound together with a common destiny. Our nation has no shortage of role models. And it might be a travesty if I name a few, but I still will do it. Look at Dr. Saheli, Mr. Keith Atherton, Ambassador Constance Mitchum, Dr. Everson Hull, Dr. Spencer Amory, Mr. Richard Keynes, Her Honor Mrs. Marjorie Morton, Mr. Kim Collins. What an inspiration is that young man. He was the fastest man in the world in 2003. Then he was the fastest man over 40 years old. Now the other world athletes, his peers, have elected him by a landslide to represent them on the IAAF, the International Association of Athletics Federations Commission. Many of you would not know that Kim Collins used to be a messenger in the PAM Central Bastia constituency office. But that tells us that the heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, 1858. Here today, on the 16th of September, 2017, my challenge to you is that you take your God-given talent, mix it with a generous portion of hard work and dedication, and thus prepare yourselves now that you may better serve St. Kitts and Nevis. Make a promise to this generation that you will make St. Kitts and Nevis better in your time. May God bless our young people, the pride and joy of our nation. Thank you.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.